You know me, everybody. If it's one thing I like to do, it's party. Ever since I was a kid, I was a huge partier. Over the years, you know, not every single party that you go to is gonna surpass the last one, but more times than not, even if you decide to have a little party for yourself, you're still bound to have a good time. That is a safe bet. Damn it. Mario Party 9, also known by many people as the beginning of the end times. You see, since its inception, Mario Party was handled by Hudson Soft. I miss this B so much. It's not a series that got better with every entry, but fun could still be had with each of them. Mario Party 6, in particular, with the whole day-night mechanic, man, that is some top-tier stuff. But once Hudson was bought out and dissolved by Konami, the reins to Mario Party was handed over to ND-Cube, the developers responsible for F-Zero Maximum Velocity, Pool Edge, and Tube Slider. Something about this tells me that their track record is pretty inconsistent, but it was their work on Wii Party that made them seemingly the perfect fit. And while MP9 got alright reviews at the time, many series fans cite ND-Cube's first entry into the series as the start of the apocalypse, despite there already being games that were... Why is there one on the Game Boy Advance again? I simply skipped playing this game for years because I just assumed it was bad based on what everyone has told me. Everyone seems to hate this game, but come on now, it's a Mario Party game. How bad could it possibly be? Mario Party has always revolved around one basic idea. 4 players get tossed onto a board, you move around at your own pace via dice rolls to get as many stars as possible, and react to whatever crazy shenanigans come your way. And boy howdy, are there shenanigans! But if getting all of your friends to come over and play a game of Monopoly doesn't sound like the most exciting thing in the world, that's where the minigames come in. At least once per turn, you take a break from the board game action and partake in a small competitive challenge. Each person for themselves or forming unholy alliances. These minigames are the glue that keep the entire Mario Party franchise together. Yeah, there is a lot of pure random garbage that pops up from time to time, but as a whole, it's awesome stuff. But it doesn't matter how good something is, you do that good thing too often and it's gonna start getting a little old. Rated E for everyone. Okay, yeah, Mario Party 8 wasn't all that good. Not terrible, but its over-reliance on motion controls and each board changing up the core rule set, it didn't really sit well with fans. And between that and the whole developer change debacle, it seemed like it just made sense to finally change things up. With a car! I feel like it was important to go over what Mario Party was, because here, the entire concept of Mario Party has been completely turned on its head, and it kinda sucks. Now, instead of each character moving individually on a large sprawling board, everybody moves along together on a short linear one. So, you know, it eliminates any form of strategy, you roll the dice and make your move solely as a reaction to what the previous character did. That's fun. Gone is the whole idea of collecting stars as well. This time the game challenges you to collect a bunch of mini stars placed randomly across the board, while also avoiding the stars. Never really got used to saying that out loud. And you just get them by rolling on top of them. There's no coins to really worry about either, so there's no sort of economy. I mean, I guess you can't have an economic crisis if there's no economy, so I kind of understand that logic. There are some board-specific gimmicks that do pop up occasionally, like these captain events where the crew perform a location-based game for mini-stars. The Bowser spaces return, with the consequences being way less severe than ever. Sometimes he even rewards you with mini-stars. That was weird. And there are these different dice blocks that you can get in an attempt to make you think about your moves before you make them, with them being now the only items that you get your hands on. But yeah, that's about it. Ultimately, you're simply at the mercy of the board and whatever moves your comrades make for you. Mario Party has always been a series based on losing friendships due to all the randomness and competition that comes from one single game. And I guess Nintendo took that literally, because instead of being the advocate for lost friendships, this time it's all about friends coming together and going on a friendly road trip together and taking down all the obstacles that stand in everybody's way. What is this, Mario Party or Final Fantasy 15? At this point, I've lost track. The linearity and the whole everybody moving in one vehicle thing was probably done in an attempt to make the game go by faster as well. Boards honestly only take about a half hour to complete now, if you're lucky. But even still, the game somehow moves at a snail's pace, making this both faster and slower than the previous games, which to be fair, that's a bit of an accomplishment. Why isn't that on the back of the box? But what about the minigames, you're asking now? Arguably, they're the star of the show. Well, since the board game gets rid of the whole idea of turns, that means there are no end-of-turn minigames. That's fun. So now instead, minigames just kind of happen whenever the game feels like it? You often go through multiple dice rolls with no minigame in sight. It gets so bad that the game ends up taking pity on you and literally pulls a minigame out of nowhere to play. That's awfully nice of them. But to be fair, credit where credit is due, the minigames are fine. No matter how soulless the boards are, at least the minigames were enjoyable enough to pull me out of the dead of sleep. And boy, let me tell you, if you're hoping for just a little bit of nostalgia towards Hotel Mario, haha, Mario Party 9 may just be the thing for you. The motion controls are kept to a minimum. Many of the minigames are skill-based, which is nice. If the boards themselves offered more competition, these would fit right in. It's just really hard to care about winning when everybody who attended gets their own set of mini-stars. And since they're the same collectible as to what you find on the board, as opposed to winning currency to purchase the main collectible like we're used to, it all just ends up feeling pretty pointless in the grand scheme of things. The addition of boss battles is pretty cool, I'll admit. You know, it's nothing too groundbreaking, but they're still enjoyable, and they do at least add a little something to the game's story mode. You know, it wouldn't be a Mario Party game if it didn't have some sort of arbitrary way to experience everything if you have no friends around, and this is fine. The evil Bowser is up to it again. This time he's stolen all of the stars from the sky. Get them back. Cool. Aw, yeah, this should go swimmingly. You get it? 'Cause fish. That's comedy, I think. And then you just play all of the boards in order. Okay, the minigames are truly the only saving grace here. I completed the story mode, okay? From start to finish, I played the whole thing. And the boards are just so painful. To ever think about playing them again, it just sounds like torture. And let me be clear, it's not just because it's different than the formula that worked so well for many years prior, because I get it. Realistically, by the time Mario Party 8 came around, people were getting tired of the typical Mario Party formula, so changing things up made sense. However, all of these changes lost what made this franchise so special in the first place. Any heart and soul that made Mario Party famous or infamous is gone. Oh, but hey, Magic Koopa's playable for the first time, so I guess that makes everything better. Oh man, you know what? This minigame is just too much fun. If only there was an unlockable mode that made the camera worse. Oh good, that's a thing. A good Mario Party game needs a healthy blend of three things: really interesting boards, really fun minigames, and really random shenanigans. You need all three of those to make an overall really fun experience. Yeah, this game doesn't have that. MP9 released in 2012, and it wasn't until 2018's Super Mario Party where things finally started getting back on track. And, whew, those 6 years, what a wild ride they were, let me tell you. There was Mario Party 10, which was just more of the same, and also not as good. It's very impressive, to be honest with you. And there were 3 games on the 3DS that were arguably just as much of a disaster, so the move to ND Cube didn't work out super great. Oh, and that's right, these developers on their spare time also made Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Send help.